This is so funny. Steve's here! Let's go!
Steve is in the fucking building.
Guys, we've been talking about doing an interview for so long, and we're here with
For
Steve.
Hello,
Lucky
everybody.
number 7 episode.
I am extremely happy that you guys invited me on this. I honestly, I feel like a lot of people sometimes see me in the background of things, but I feel like I have a lot to say and a lot to contribute.
Steve is the star of the show today.
Yes, he is.
And I'm thrilled to be the star of the show.
Yeah, we're so excited.
We're putting him in the spotlight today.
Yeah.
I love to be in the spotlight.
Right? You're the front and center. You're literally in
You're
like a
literally
Follow
front
the
and center.
Sound mush fest right now.
Follow the sound
I
sandwich.
just wish that you guys could have told me, like, I could have worn jeans and a black shirt.
I know we're
Okay,
now
I'm
kind
sorry.
of. I didn't even
And
know
you
we.
y'all got even like matching
Oh my God, we're
shoes too.
literally
We're twinning.
Girl,
We hang out so much.
obviously, we're kind of like, yeah. No one's
And we're
even
sitting the
surprised.
same. Okay, I'm kind of
Okay, you just like. I know. Why do we look? These are my new overalls too. They're huge. Okay, let's go like
It's
this.
the uniform.
It is. The
This kind of
uniform.
is my uniform these days. I'm like kind of schwitzing too. It's like kind of steamy in here.
It is a little. Steamy.
Anyone else? Okay,
It's probably the
It's a nice day.
follow the sound sandwich.
right? It's a little Follow the Sound sandwich.
We're back.
We're back with Steve. Happy like episode 7.
Episode 7.
Crazy guys.
It's
This
a
is a new
milestone.
right.
It is a milestone.
This is a milestone. We're doing well. We've been consistent. I feel like we're doing good.
The hardest part is consistency. I think the podcast that I started in high school only got I think we only got to 7 episodes.
Really.
Wow.
So if you guys do one more after this,
We're
you're
like
golden.
basically
Okay,
amazing.
yeah.
That's so valid. No, literally we have been grinding and we've been like vomiting on the TikTok recently.
We've been spamming the TikToks.
Like the poor anyone who follows me on TikTok, I feel so bad because all I do is repost all of our stuff on TikTok. It's so
Same.
funny.
I saw that one clip, I think it was on Instagram actually, about like the indie competition that you got into.
Bro, that happened at Pi. You were in the room when that happened.
Who was it? I mean, you don't have to say her
I'll
name.
say it, but I'll bleep
Don't
it
put-
out.
don't
I
But,
mean,
but she like Jackson was there for the whole thing too, which is the funniest part, is that he was sitting there and everyone was texting me about it too. And they were like, that is the funniest thing. And I just got so worried that everyone thought I was like so mean. But it just like happened.
pool house?
I was like, what? And she's going to the concert. I can't. Are you going?
I don't think I am because I'm doing a Battle of the Bands for Colorfest.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And I don't even know if Elijah said
told
that he
me
doesn't want to go.
He's in like a weird mood about it. He's
Yeah.
like, he thinks, which I kind of agree with. I don't think it's going to be that fun.
I know. I'm
Right?
like kind of worried going into it.
Like I'm not gonna, cause we camped for the one in LA, and we did our whole Outside Lands thing. So I'm like, I feel like I don't need to like camp again.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to like enjoy it.
And Elijah was saying that if they are just gonna play the album through and then maybe do like a few of their
They're
like
fucking gonna
favorite
do maple
songs
syrup and pull house probably.
at the end,
probably.
Right?
right? I mean, it's if they do the same set that they did in November, would you guys still want to go?
I'm still gonna go. I'm just not gonna like go early or
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna like make it a thing where I can like grab a drink and hang out
Yeah.
and then just like watch them.
Valid.
I don't think I need to like be standing there screaming because I was like I'm still like emotionally recovering from the LA show when I was like crying. When
was
the one they
great.
played
It
out of
was
tune, I was like I can
fantastic.
die now. Like it was
Is
fine.
that what you were telling me about when Amelie took the pictures?
Yes, that was when I was crying. You were right because your friends from school came too to that, didn't they? Those 2 girls.
My friends?
Your friends were there.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
one in
Emma,
LA.
Oh, yeah. Emma and Bella. Yeah, they showed up. They came with us because they needed a ride.
Yeah, that was when I was bawling.
I totally forgot that they were there.
I know.
honestly.
I kind of almost I forgot who was even there of all of you guys. Like it was like such a fever dream. But then I got my drumstick, thank God.
Yeah,
That's
how do you-
wild.
I don't know how
Literally,
you
that's
manage
wild.
that.
I don't know how. I don't know. I was on a lot that night. I'm also like tall, so then it's like I can just go like this and I just grab
Especially in
it.
the fucking front row too.
And
yeah.
I'm front, like everyone in front of me. I feel so bad for because I'm just like blocking everyone. I don't even. I mean, at least I get things out of
Everyone's
it.
like this tall bitch is in
This
the way.
tall fucking tree is like blocking our whole view. But what are you gonna do about it?
Honestly, nothing. And I'm not like saying that. Let me clarify.
Oh.
I love my height. I am in love with being a 5'8" king.
You are
I
a
don't even-
short king.
I don't even think that it's fair to say that I'm a short king because I have homies who are shorter than me.
Petite
And
princess.
You're just a king, Steve.
I'll be a petite
Petite
princess.
prince.
But whenever I explain that my dad is 5'6" and my mom is 5 foot and my sister is 5 foot, everyone's like, you know what, you did all
You know
right.
what? You did what you
conquered.
could.
You did all right.
You did.
And
all
when
you
and when
could.
I wear shoes with a little lift, it's like, okay, like I'm 5'9".
Yeah.
It's like that's normal. That's
No,
average.
you're a really good height. I honestly, I
Congratulations.
give that
We
to
are
you.
so proud
And
of
I
you.
love the confidence because you are Steve. So obviously you have like the charisma.
Gotta
of,
own it.
Like, you have to
I'm
own
not
it.
getting taller.
Exactly.
I'm not getting taller.
So as long as you own it, I think that's all you can do. And you're killing
I
it.
own that shit.
But you have like your dance moves that you whip out. Like you make up for your height in every
yeah.
other aspect of your personality.
I got to carry myself tall.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You have tall energy.
I feel like God or whatever you want to believe in, they had to nerf everybody. Like,
Totally.
Because some people just be too powerful. Everybody has like their certain insecurity. Everyone is battling with something inside.
100%.
Even the most perfect, beautiful people,
have something
maybe
they don't like.
have a
about themselves.
lisp or they never learned how to
Maybe
read.
they just
Yep.
smell really bad.
Yeah. Just
Smell,
it's
yeah.
Always
Maybe their
something.
feet are
Always
weird.
something.
You never know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. What if they have like 3 nipples?
Yeah,
Yeah, you never know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You can't have it all.
It's proof everyone goes through something.
But loving your insecurities is the best thing you can do because that's what makes such an amazing person, right?
Absolutely.
So you love your height. That's amazing. I have days where I hate my height, but you got to learn to love it. I don't like it's
what-
hard out here.
Wasn't there that show on Netflix? I don't know if it's still there about like being a tall girl.
Fucking
in
that
high
movie Tall
school.
Girl? That movie Tall Girl.
Size 13
Mind you,
Nikes.
I am taller than Tall Girl. Well, I just want to put that out there. I am taller than Tall Girl. She's portrayed as like 6'1" in the movie. And then
How
they,
tall are you?
I'm 6 feet. But in real life, she's like 5'11". But then they
Drama
just
queen.
casted everyone like 5 feet tall to make her
Yeah.
look fucking huge. But I will say, as awful as that movie was, it was extremely relatable.
The ending is wild when the
Wild.
guy stands on the fucking box. I
Yes.
was like, bro, what the fuck? is
Just
going
that one
on?
scene when she's standing in the library and a guy's like kind of hitting on her, and then she just stands up and there's that
Yeah,
like
and he's
dramatic
like-
music. It's like, oh my god, and I'm like, okay, like
That's like
that's
every
a
Disney
little-
movie ever.
like right? It's like it's such a Netflix original like type movie.
Yeah.
But
I will say though, last year, at the beginning of school, I was like Snapchatting just like honestly like a few random people that
locking in your roster.
yeah that I had like oh like because when you come to state and you're a freshman, you get on Tinder and you're like
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
a few matches. Oh, what's your snap?
Yeah.
Take it to the fucking DMs or whatever.
Yep.
And so I'm snapping this girl, and she's like, "How tall are you?" And I'm like, I capped, and I was like, "I'm 5'9". She's like, "Oh my god, like I'm 5'10". I'm taller than you. Ha ha ha." And I was like, "Oh shit.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
Is that a problem for you?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay.
Damn,
Damn.
that's a deal breaker.
I guess so."
Okay,
I mean,
well,
I get it. Like, I honestly get it. And I wasn't too peeved about it because, like, I didn't even fucking know this chick.
yeah,
And, but
I get it though.
But that was, yeah, I mean,
I've been there. I have been there. It's hard with us because for me, it's like in all aspects of my life, I just feel large. And the one time you kind of want to feel like I want to feel
I get
petite and
that.
small sometimes. Like sorry,
get
I want to
that.
be like a little like.
but
like,
sometimes I
coddled.
want to be the
But
little
then you
spoon.
want to be the little spoon. See, I don't mind
Like-
big spooning ever.
What the fuck? is
Like-
going
I don't
on?
mind big spooning ever at all.
The girls that I've dated have always been shorter than me, and I don't think they've been like taller than like 5'6". And when you get
I think you
little
need to give us a
spoons-
try.
I've been
I
trying.
know,
That
I
girl
know,
dissed me.
I know,
What you
I know.
talking about?
But there's someone like I can see you having someone that's like kind of exactly your height, and you guys are just like
Yeah.
it's like even a Tom Holland Zendaya situation.
yeah,
You give
Yeah.
Tom
Okay.
Holland energy. You
Good.
do.
That's
But-
so true.
good.
That's true.
Get yourself a
That's
Zendaya.
the best compliment I've heard
Right?
all year.
Of
Go get
course.
a Zendaya.
Yeah, where's your Zendaya?
I'm looking for her, bro.
Come on, she's out there.
She's out there.
If you resemble Zendaya,
Bang Steve's line.
Instagram stevo.metcalf.
Steve-O.
I have a lot to offer.
You just
I will
He's the
make
whole
you
package.
sandwiches,
Aw.
and I will cuddle you.
Aw.
Aw. What's your go-to sandwich?
Turkey and cheese with
kind
some
of cheese?
lettuce,
Mm.
whatever lettuce. I mean, whatever cheese
Whatever
this
lettuce.
girl wants.
A little iceberg.
I love me some Swiss.
Okay.
I love me some
Okay.
provolone.
Provolone is fire. Pepper jack. I love a good pepper jack.
Pepper jack can't go wrong.
I have a confession.
I feel like you would like American cheese.
I hate cheese. Like I hate cheese.
That is wild.
It is one of my it's one of my flaws, I will say. I've tried. Okay. I like I just don't like cheese on like a like charcuterie board. Like solid cheese.
Okay.
I agree.
I don't like it's like I'm chewing milk. I don't like the smell. I don't like the texture. But like I'll have a quesadilla.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll
okay.
have
That's
So
a
just not
grilled
cheese by
cheese.
itself.
It's
That's
just
not a super
I'm not
hot
putting
take.
hard cheese on my sandwich, or I'm not
Okay.
melting cheese on my sandwich.
hard cheese.
Right?
Like
Like
cold
solid cheese, cold cheese.
Cool cheese.
But you'll eat like a cheeseburger. or some
No,
Not even
not the yellow cheese. What is
Isn't
it,
it kind
American
of-
cheese?
shit. Isn't it all like shades of yellow?
Yeah, but like,
He's
but
like,
Shades of
but like-
Yellow. That's
but
a
like
gas
the-
band name. That's a great band name.
But the orange
the fuck?
cheese, the like one on In-N-Out burgers. I'm not.
American
I'm not
cheese.
touching
Like
that. Is that
American
That's
cheese.
American
Yeah,
cheese.
yeah.
I don't fuck with that.
is that not
That's
yellow?
fair.
Or like in a salad, there
It's a
cannot
shit.
be cheese on my salad. Like
Okay.
a Caesar cannot have Parmesan, and then my pasta is tricky, but I don't like extra cheese on my pasta. Sorry. I know this is that's just who I am. I'm sorry.
Speak your truth,
But
queen.
Speak your truth.
Speak
you know
that
what?
shit.
Colby Jack. I love the start of your legends. So we just dive into interview pressing
just
Steve.
Yeah,
I
press
first-
me up.
into it.
First, I want to talk about we have to talk about this. Is how we met.
This story is amazing.
It's such a good
It
story.
was as if our paths were destined to cross.
Literally.
It was, I believe, it was for some reason in November. We had
November of 2021.
Yeah, it
Yes.
was we had like a weekend
Yes.
off or something.
It was some sort of
holiday.
something.
I don't remember what it was for.
Yeah.
And I was taking the Surfliner train to go to Santa Barbara to hang out with some of my friends at UCSB, and we were gonna stop in Irvine and pick up one of my friends, and then we were gonna continue. And the train is about to leave. There's like 5 minutes. And then I look out the window. It's like fully booked. There's like no spots left except for 2 seats in front of me. And I look out the window and I see this tall girl and this shorter girl like hopping over the fence, like running with their shit. And I'm like, oh, there's no fucking way they're making this train. Like, there's no way. They eventually get in, like last second, and they happen to sit down right in front of me. And I'm like, well, that's what I get for thinking that they wouldn't make it. They sit right
Yeah.
next to me. Now I have to talk to these girls the whole trip, which, it's fine. I'm a friendly guy.
Guys, it was the best.
And it happened to be the lovely Olivia. And
So weird.
she was on her way to a role model concert. Surprise,
remembered.
surprise.
Wait, that's weird.
Isn't that
we
weird?
met in line at Role Model.
Because we met in line at Role Model. Everyone's connected by Role Model.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it was funny.
By the end of the summer.
She was
I'm the lover. That's our ex, and he's dressing like me. Do you see his tweet when he was like, the song with my cringiest lyrics is my most streamed song? Like, I hate it. And I was like, go off, King.
I
You got like 100
guess.
million?
Million, I think.
That
Oh,
song
probably.
is so good. It was so good that it's on the FIFA soundtrack.
Dude, I know. I
way.
know. I know.
What the fuck? I'm just finding
His
this out right now.
that song is also in another show. It might be in like Dance Moms. The audio of Never Let You Go is literally in like a show I was watching. I don't think he knows.
That's fucking wild.
I don't think he knows.
I have no clue.
But
Do not know
yeah,
any of that.
so we were on the train. I was going to Role Model. And we just started talking. And you told me you were going to do music stuff. I swear that is why I had your song in my phone. Do you remember that day when we were singing Through to You?
Yeah.
And I knew it
Oh.
word for fucking word. And I didn't know it was you.
Oh, that makes so much
to add
more sense.
context to
'cause-
the story, I was in.
Wait, but I hadn't released it at that point.
But why was it in my liked songs on Spotify? Because I knew it word for fucking word.
I don't know.
But I didn't know that was you. I thought it was just a song that I liked. And then you started playing it I was like, oh, this is my song. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I know this whole song. And then I go on my liked and it was there.
Me, bitch.
I was like, this is you? And I was like, I still don't know what I got. And I was just like, that's so weird. But yeah, we were in a room and he starts playing a song and I knew it. And he was like, oh, it just got released. And I was like, why do I know this like literally lyric by lyric.
Maybe I sent you like a.
Maybe you sent it to me.
I don't know, but if it was on Spotify and you liked it,
Unless I was like stalking someone on Spotify and I liked it because I saw it in their playlist. But then I don't know who I would have been doing that with.
Maybe Elijah or
maybe, but I don't think I would. I think I would remember if I did that. Normally, I know the songs that I take from him, but I don't think that was one of them.
That's
I don't know.
Wild.
It was weird though, but I did know all of the words. But I love that song.
I love that song. It's so good.
We
were just talking about how
we were just talking about how good it is. It literally is my favorite song. I love it.
It's so good.
It's so good. So we meet on the train, and then I don't even think we got each other's socials.
Yeah,
right.
I think it was just like
it was just like a mystery,
thing,
like oh, I'll see you at State, whatever. Yeah. And then I remember this day so vividly. I walk into Pi, which is the frat that Steve's in, that all my friends are normally in, and I walk in and I look, and you were just standing there, and I was like, oh my God. And then we get talking, and then you were pledging Pi, and I was like, oh my God.
And I remember we were just like, It was like the Spider-Man moment, like.
And I think I told like everyone in the room. I was like, guys, this is the guy from the train that I met, and then we were doing a role model, and now he's in the Pi house, and I was like, oh my God, it was so funny.
When did you become friends with Elijah?
Literally, like October of freshman year. Like it had been like a month of us being friends, I think. And then that was when I just started going to the house for things, because I think they had just finished pledging at that point, because you're spring.
Yeah.
So they were like nibs or whatever, and then you guys were starting to do the thing, and I was around for a lot of your guys' pledge process, whatever. And then and then I was going over a lot, and then you were pledging.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh my God. And then every time we saw each other, you're like, it's that guy from the train. And then anytime someone would come up to us talking, we'd be like, you have to hear how we met. And then we just tell them the story. Like it's it's like my favorite like coffee table talk. It's so funny.
I love it because you can meet anybody anywhere, and now we're on a podcast together, and we were just strangers on a train.
And then you're living with like with Elijah, who was like one of my best friends. And then you guys were all moving in, and I was like, oh my God. And then now you're all in a band, and I'm like, oh my God. So weird.
Life is weird.
Life is fucking weird.
Everyone is connected.
I love an organic.
Awesome.
I love an organic friendship, like a meetup like that.
Yeah.
Like that story's good. It's not like I like know you from this person, and I saw you at this. It was just like that's such a raw story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So fun.
Raw as fuck.
Raw as fuck. But yeah, so now me and Steve see each other around.
We see each other.
Did outside lands, did everything.
We do shit together.
We do. But
Adorbs.
yeah. I want you to give me like the little, or I want like a backstory. I want to know how did Steve get to where he is right now?
I would love to give a backstory.
I want a backstory.
So something that I've realized about myself within the last few months is that like my essence is, or at the core of everything, I am a songwriter. Mm-hmm. I am a storyteller. I have been writing songs the first song I can remember writing was a parody of Riding Solo by Jason Derulo. In the 3rd grade, I wrote a parody of Riding Solo titled I'm Han Solo.
Oh, where is that? Where is that?
I mean,
where is it?
I wrote it in like a little Lego notebook.
Oh my God.
Like, Mom, can you please find this?
I would pay so much money for that.
And it's not like I recorded it or anything. It was just like, something that I wrote. It was like, in a galaxy far, far away, there's a guy you can buy on eBay. He's solo. He's Han Solo. Han Solo.
Hey. Wow.
But
can you record that and put it out?
Yeah.
You should just take that.
I'll just take that clip and we'll just fuck around with it.
I have always been obsessed with language and writing. I've always considered myself a good writer. And it's always been so cathartic for me to be able to externalize my internal feelings. And so in middle school, as so many white suburban kids do, I was listening to rap music all the time. And I loved rap music. And I started writing all my own like rap songs and carried over into high school as well. And so I was this white kid from like, rich suburbia writing these rap songs about like fucking bitches and doing drugs and shooting shit.
Oh my god.
And I was like, I realized that like the bars weren't bad. The bars were not like, it wasn't like I wasn't a good rapper or I couldn't rap or I didn't have flow. It was just that the imagery or the image was so far from the truth of me as an artist. Like no one could possibly take me seriously because I'm a white kid rapping about, you know, stupid shit.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, I was literally like a SoundCloud rapper in high school.
Of course you were.
And I remember like the summer going into my sophomore year of high school, I wrote this song called, and I released it on SoundCloud called Hawk. And it was like, oh, dude, it was so cringy. It was so fucking cringy. But
Where is it?
It's on SoundCloud. You can honestly listen to it right now.
We're gonna find
Q
it.
Hawk.
Really, right here. We're just gonna
Q Hawk.
cut this.
Cut.
Play.
Q Hawk.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back.
Now that it's finished,
I'm
We're back.
sorry that you listened to that. I know it's horrible. The bars weren't bad, but it's just like the farthest thing from who I am as a person. And so when I got to school after that summer, everyone's like, and my rapper name was Steezo.
That's actually kind of fire.
It was like $ with a 0.
Oh my god.
And so I got to school and everyone's like, Steezo, like you fucking suck. And I was like, I didn't get it. Like, I was like, I thought people like fucked with it, or at least like on Instagram, people would be like, yo, like this is fire. And I'd be like, yeah. But then when I got to school, everyone's like making fun of me and shit. And I didn't get it. And so I eventually stopped because even my friends were like, Steve, like you gotta stop with this rapping shit, dude. Like, and I just remember being like, come on, like it's fun. I have fun doing it. But they were like, dude, like this is not it. And it kind of bummed me out but in retrospect, I realized that while they weren't maybe looking out for me then, like they were right.
Yeah.
So then like a little later in high school, I had a few different girlfriends, you know, dogging. And I realized that whenever I had to, maybe this is kind of cheap, but like for birthdays or like Christmas presents or whatever, like I'm a horrible gift giver. I love receiving gifts.
Oh yeah.
As I mean, everyone kind of likes receiving gifts, but I'm horrible at giving gifts, especially like for like a significant other or something like that. So what I would do is
sentimental kind of.
Yeah, right. And so
I was gonna say you serenaded them.
Or I mean, yeah, I would write songs for them, and for one of my girlfriends, I recorded like a. This is when I started sort of developing into my what I see now as like my real sound. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a pretty musical family. My sister grew up in theater. My mom was a singer. My sister was, you know, the lead in a couple plays, and she was in choir, chamber, Peter Pan Foundation. So, and I've always been a somewhat decent singer despite having no like formal training. And then in high school, just like driving around, you know what high schoolers do, like they just fucking drive around because there's nothing. Oh, we just got our license, so we drive around.
Where are you from again? San Francisco?
Yeah, like the Bay Area. We would drive around and listen to music, and I would always be singing along, and people would be like, damn, bro, like you sound just like the homie that's singing. And I'm also really good at impersonations and accents. So I just have like an ability to like mimic people and sound like them. And then that helped when I started singing. People were like, bro, you have a pretty good voice. I'm like, well, is it really even my voice, or am I just copying how someone sounds? But then for a few different girlfriends that I had, I would make songs for them and, you know, do like rough recordings. And they wouldn't sound that good, but like the ideas were there. And I knew that it was pretty much just like a matter of production to start sounding good. So I had recorded a couple songs by myself, and I knew that they had potential. And so in my senior year of high school, I reached out to this local record label in the Bay Area. Shout out Blue Tree Records. And I went to the owner of the record label, and I said, hey, or at this point it was a studio, Harvest Moon Studios. And I went to Harvest Moon, and I was like, hey, I would love to record some music with you. I do not have money to pay you to record, so I realize it sort of puts you in a tough situation. Like, is there anything I can do to get some studio time? And the homie who works there, Michael, he said, yeah, well, I actually want to start a record label out of this studio, but what we don't have and what I don't really understand is social media. We need a social media presence. If you are willing to be like a sort of social media manager for this new record label that I'm starting, I would love to just compensate you with free studio time. And I was like,
whoa.
I was like,
that's a sick deal.
I was like, say less. So like the spring of my senior year up until about just a few months ago, I was working as a social media manager for this new record label. And I was finally able to record my music, but even then it was still like 2-track mixes. So like, you know, I find the beat on YouTube or whatever, or I purchase the rights to it, and it would be something cheap. Like that's how I made Through to You.
Oh, really?
Through to You was recorded in that studio with like a beat that I purchased, and that's when I started taking it more seriously, because I realized, wow, like I can actually sound pretty good with production, but there was something still missing about it, and I think what that was is that it wasn't like fully me, because it was a beat, right, that I had to purchase the rights to. And it wasn't until actually, let me slow down. I'm getting ahead of myself. I was recording a lot of music specifically for my girlfriends at the time, or at this point it was just one person.
How many girlfriends are we talking?
I made actually it was only I made one song for one of my exes, and then I made a bunch more for my most recent ex.
Got it.
And then that was like the summer before coming to state. And then when I got to San Diego and I'm meeting a bunch of people, I'm like, oh yeah, like I make music and yada yada. And they're like, oh, can we hear it? I'm like, sure. And it would be on like SoundCloud. And they're like, dude, like this music is good. Why is it on SoundCloud? They're like, you should put it on Spotify. Like, I'll listen to it if it's on Spotify. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So then I sort of got, I don't want to say coerced, but I kind of got pushed into making a Spotify account and posting my shit on Spotify too quickly, because I didn't do it intentionally, which is something that I've learned, which I'm happy that I've learned, but I wish that I had waited perhaps a little longer to get my music released on Spotify, because then it's like a much more official thing.
Makes it more real.
It makes it real. I had pretty poor visual branding. It was pretty much just like me in like a checkered, or not a checkered, and like a, you know, like my striped shirts and my fucking polos that I wear. It was very high school. Oh, like I make music and I have fun.
It's like very SoundCloud. It's like it's like what it was.
but it wasn't. At this point, it was like the rap stuff is completely is completely done. Now it's like very happy, lovey type stuff, because I was making all these songs for my girlfriends.
Yeah.
So I had this music, and then like the first week of school, I met Ryder, who just, shout out Ryder Schwartz, completely changed my artistic trajectory in the best way possible. I remember it was like literally the first weekend, and we went to some like Phi-Sci party, and luckily Emma Bennett, who's the girl who went to the Backseat Lovers concert with us, she went to my high school, and she happened to be on Ryder's floor. And
where was Ryder?
Tenochca, floor 6. I was Tenochca, floor 1.
Ah, got it.
And I happened to come across a couple of the guys that were on floor 6 because they were just in the lobby, and I was walking around with my roommate, and we're just, it's the first day of college, and we're trying to figure shit out. And I end up going to this Phi-Sci party by myself. And luckily, out of all the people there, I spot Ryder, and he's with Emma Bennett, the girl. And I'm like, oh my God, one person that I know and one person that I sort of know. Like, and so I went up to them. The party sucked, and I was like, do you guys want to get out of here? Like, I have some Trulies in my fucking. my dad gave me some alcohol. He's like, you need this. I'm like, okay, bet. Like, we can go back to my dorm and drink. He's like, yeah, bring the Trulies up to the 6th floor. We're having a little thing up there. I was like, say less. And
I missed freshman year.
We're up in, dude, it was so much fun. We were up in Ryder's dorm, and of course, he pulls out his guitar, and I'm like, oh shit, and he starts playing some music and singing, and I was starstruck. I was blown away. I was so impressed because like that's sort of what I always dreamed that I could do.
Yeah.
But I had no fucking idea how to play guitar, no real interest about how to go about it because it just seemed like this daunting task.
Yeah.
Like I had tried a couple times over quarantine. It just didn't work out, and I wasn't dedicated enough. And so he played a couple songs and serenaded the entire room, and I was blown away. And I was like, hey, like I have some music too, and played it on the speaker. And he was like, dude, this is great. And I was like, you really think so? And
oh my God.
we sort of just like clicked right there, like super early. And I was really surprised that he even like wanted to be friends with me, because in my mind he was just like this enigma, this like super cool person off from Tahoe. He has like tattoos and shit, and he skates around, and he has a truck. What freshman has a fucking car? Like, he plays guitar. It was like this unbelievable thing.
Yeah.
He's a film guy, and it was super cool. And he was like, Steve, eventually, as I think like a month passed, and we were just getting to know each other. He's like, Steve, you're a great singer, but you don't play any instruments. I'm like, yeah, you're right. He's like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to Guitar Center, and I'm going to get you a ukulele. And I was like, okay. Because I guess what happened with Ryder is that he started his sort of musical journey with a ukulele, because it helps you understand strumming patterns and I guess basic fingering. And so that's what he did. We went to Guitar Center, and he got me a ukulele in like October of 2021.
You like bought it for you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, or maybe I bought it. Honestly, I don't remember.
Still, that's like he like really wanted to do something for you. Like,
and so, man, watching back these videos of me like struggling to play ukulele is really full circle.
They riptide.
I remember people like, I had a ukulele, and like random people would come in and they'd be like, oh, like I can play Riptide. And I didn't even know how to play Riptide.
Really?
And I mean, now it's like,
that's fine.
I could do it behind my head with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
But
subtle flex.
I mean, I could do that.
He's like, if I could pull it out right now.
I could pull it out.
Guys,
right
it's in my back pocket right now.
Let me get that shit.
Oh my God.
And so from October 2021 up until about literally October 2022, I was playing ukulele, and I got really, really good at it in just the year that I played it. And I wrote probably 20 to 25 songs on my ukulele, and
with lyrics and everything.
Yeah, with lyrics.
Wow.
And everything. And they just would get better and better and more complex up until I wrote one song and I played it for Ryder, and he was like, dude, Steve, that's a great song, but it's too good of a song to be played on ukulele, and it just sounds like a toy. And so I was like, okay, you're right, but I'm still a little scared to graduate to guitar. But after my first ever performance, which was in August at the first Blank Space house show.
Yes. Oh my God,
I was there too.
Yeah, so I got to open, and I played the song on ukulele that I wrote called "Stick Around," and then they did "Through to You." I hate performing "Through to You" because it's such a difficult song to sing. Dude, in the studio, I had to go back in the studio twice just to record like the first chorus, which
no way.
I still don't know what I got to do. Just that one line alone.
Really?
It took me like 2 seconds. I couldn't fucking do
Oh
it.
my god.
Even then, I kind of butchered it. But it like starts with the fall. It goes into the falsetto and then comes back out of it. And that was just a really hard thing to record. But then
God.
singing it live is like a whole different
Oh,
beast.
I can imagine.
And I will admit that like singing just by myself, like with the microphone and having the band behind me, is like really exposing to me. And it's scary because it's just me and my voice.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was playing something, I feel like almost more protected.
Totally, yeah.
And
Like a little safety blanket.
yeah, it's safety, and I feel like people cut you a little bit more slack. But after my first official performance, Ryder got me a guitar. That was okay. So Ryder bought me
Did
the
he
guitar.
actually buy you a guitar?
He actually bought me the guitar,
Oh my
but I think
God.
I bought myself the ukulele. But he
Yeah.
took me there to get the uke. So then
He fully bought you a guitar?
yeah, he bought me a guitar.
Wow.
It was probably like $100.
Wow.
And I was still afraid to use the guitar just because it's just a different beast and
It's intimidating.
it's very intimidating.
And it's new to
But the year that I was playing ukulele like really fucking helped with my transition into it. So I started actually playing it in like October. I actually only waited about a month to play it because then I had an AMG show that I got invited to do, one of the backyard concerts at the end of September. So September 2022, I had like another sort of big show, and I did another. I opened again. I did Through to You at a Blank Space concert. That was at the Pie House.
Oh, that one.
If
yeah, I
you
was
remember
there.
that. And again, like I think about it and it just sort of cringes me out because
Really?
because I just don't feel like, I mean, honestly, it's just like Jack Harlow would say, it's like character building moments.
It is. It's
Especially
like
in
part of it.
performing.
Like it's
Yeah.
like it's just like it's part of your journey as a musician.
Yeah.
Like not every single thing you perform or like your show is gonna be like, it looks so cool right now and this sounds amazing
and,
right now.
And,
Like,
and cringing at yourself, I feel like, is a positive thing because it shows that you've like
Yeah.
in some ways grown, or you
Mhm.
can recognize
yeah.
that like, hey, maybe that wasn't it, and so
It's a
maybe
precious thing to look back on. too.
yeah, exactly.
Part of it.
And so the AMG backyard show that I did was all ukulele songs that I had written, but with a full band behind me, which
Oh wow.
was, I mean, I think it translated pretty well.
Did you play the
And-
ukulele? Whoa. Did you play the ukulele while you sang?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
it plugged in and everything
Oh, there you
to
go.
an amp. So it was basically just like a mini guitar, but
Yeah.
but
It's good practice.
yeah, and so after that show, I started playing guitar, and it was the first like month and a half was pretty rough, but now I've been playing it for 7 months, right? October to well, now I guess it's the end of April, so maybe that's like
That's so weird.
7 or 8 months, and I am blown away by the progress that I've made. I've written 10 songs in 2023 alone,
Really?
and they're all on guitar, and I'm very proud of how they sound, especially how they've come together with the full band.
Did you teach yourself, or did you have like did Ryder and
I
Jackson?
mean, I did the heavy lifting, which
Yeah.
is actually doing it, but
did you just watch like YouTube videos, or did you? Just,
I didn't.
Like, just
I
fiddle around with
haven't. I
it?
haven't really watched any YouTube videos, but it definitely does. I owe a ton of credit to Ryder, to Jackson, to Elijah, for I'll be like, teach me something, like
Yeah.
tell me something that I need to know. They'll give me chord progressions. They'll give me like plucking / picking strategies. As a songwriter, which is the core of what I am, learning an instrument, first it was uke and now guitar, it's just only helped me in creating songs, and because now it's all me,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be, I don't have to like know what chords I'm playing or how it works theoretically to know that it sounds good and
Yeah,
that
'cause
it's
you
a
have the
good
ear
sound
for it,
and
yeah.
and a good song.
But even then, there will be some times where I'll play something and you know, Jackson will look at me and go like, that's not right. I'm like, what do you mean that's not right? This is my. He's like, no, you should do it like this. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't that sound better? I'm like, oh, yeah, that actually does sound
Yeah.
better. And Jackson was. I remember once he was like, man, it must be nice not knowing anything about music theory. And I'm like, it's not, but like,
It has its blessing and
I can
its
do whatever
curse.
I want
Yeah.
if I don't know theory, but sometimes that really hurts me. But
Yeah.
now I'm playing guitar. I'm at least an hour a day probably.
Yeah.
And it's just my progress it's blown me away. I would have never thought a year ago that I'd be able to do this. And I mean, I know I'm talking a lot of shit right now because I'm just sitting here on a couch. Like,
Oh yeah.
who am I to say that I know that I'm not a good guitar player, but
But
in comparison to
Picking it up is like hard.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
it is
Yeah.
really hard, and now I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just imagining the most exciting thing to me is like, where am I going to be in a year, in 3 years, in 5
Yeah.
years?
Yeah.
To see how much progress you've made just in this year.
Yeah.
Like if you think you can do
Alone.
that, you're like, okay, like in the next year you're gonna have like a really nice guitar. And
Exactly.
then you're gonna learn
Like-
all this other stuff.
And
it's like,
yeah, I got an electric guitar for Christmas,
oh, there you go.
which has only helped me with performing, and now I have sort of like a arsenal of instruments. I have like 2 ukuleles, or I have 2 ukuleles. I have 3 guitars.
There you go.
Coming into college, I would have never thought that my sort of artistry would be going down this direction, but it was always the direction that I wanted it to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just feel so blessed because I somehow finagled my way into surrounding myself with like the coolest fucking people ever, the most talented musicians I could ever ask for, who have no problem playing behind me and who genuinely enjoy my music too.
Yeah.
Like,
It says a lot about you as a person too. I hope you know that. Like it's
you
like
think so?
obviously,
Yeah,
are you
totally.
kidding me? Like
I
all
feel like
these-
I just got lucky.
it's who you are too. You know that. It's like you have such a charming, charismatic personality, and like you are someone that people want to see you like succeed. And that's why. And then but you also find you got lucky with good friends who see that in you. Like it's hard. A lot of people can't notice those things about you, and when you find people who can see how amazing you are, and then they want to do these things for you, like you both like. That's what makes really good friends. So you guys both got lucky.
Yeah.
Because they're lucky to have you and you're very lucky to have them.
Damn straight. I feel like I'm way luckier to have them.
No.
Well, I mean, it goes.
Everyone
it goes
needs a
both
Steve.
ways.
Everyone needs
Everyone
a Steve.
does need Steve. If you don't have a Steve, you're lacking.
My dad's name's Steve.
She already got.
I
The
already
Steve.
got one.
Wow.
The
Okay.
OG.
Is it like? Is his real name
So
with
it's
a PH?
Steve, Steve, but his full name is Steven. I know.
How does that short? Okay.
But it's Steven.
Let me go off for
Steve,
one
But we
moment.
call him Esteban.
Okay. Well, that's my name in Spanish.
Yeah. That what I literally only his name on my phone is Esteban. It's fully my dad though.
You know what? That's valid.
Right?
But hot take, not a hot take. This is just a truth take.
Real take.
Are you Stefan?
No, I'm Steven with a V. How the
Yes.
fuck are you gonna shorten Stefan with a PH?
Yeah.
How does
Yeah.
a PH go to a V?
Yeah. Wait.
That's
how
true.
does
That's
how?
true.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it
That's
be
a real take.
Wouldn't it be Steph?
If your name is Steven, but it's
You're just Steph.
it's Stephen. Stefan.
or
Does
like,
that go to Steve?
or like it's pronounced Steven sometimes with a PH. Why?
Yeah,
why
why
is
is
it
that?
pronounced? I don't know. This is why I get angry.
Talk your shit.
Steve.
'Cause
Like
whenever there's
people
a
spell
word-
my name with a
yeah.
PH. I'm like, that's not right.
No.
There's a V. And then people have the gall who are named Steven with a PH to go by Steve. I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah,
You should
'cause
be
where's the V
Steph.
coming from?
That's a different name.
You're
That's a
Steph.
different name.
Oppose it.
I
How did
will
we get
die
there?
on this hill.
I feel like there's so many words that have PH in it, but we never say it as V. I don't like it.
It might be some like Christian spelling or
Maybe
some
some
specific
weird-
religious spelling of Stephen. But how do you get?
I don't know how you get there.
V. I don't know.
Stefan.
Steve is a goaded name, and I was.
Unbiased as all.
I would-
What is
I-
your stage name? Are you Steve-O? Are you Steve?
Ooh, this
Steve?
is a good idea. This is a
Are
this is
you
a good
the one
topic.
that Steve's in that thing?
Yeah.
That's you? I get so
So-
confused. I never know who you are.
It is Steve's,
Okay.
no apostrophe.
There's
Yeah.
there's an apostrophe on it.
So my current artist name or my current artist persona is Steve's, just how it sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then like I don't know how, but almost everybody, every show that I've played, like somehow my name gets fucked up. Like
In what way?
the AMG backyard show, I think it was just the way that it was written on the flyer. The T looked like an L for some reason, and then so people thought that I was sleeves. And so Felix, shout out Felix Wood. Felix was drumming for me that show, and someone DM'd him and was like, "Yo, would you and the Sleeves be down to do like another like like a frat?" It was like a frat fundraiser.
All
and
frats are doing that now. You know? Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh my God, the Sleeves." But if you look at the flyer, it looks like my name is Sleeves
What
because
the
the
fuck?
T just looked like an L. And then the nooner that I did a few weeks ago, I was like, yeah, like my artist name is Steve's, and they just wrote Steven Metcalf, which is like, it's fine,
It's
whatever.
fine, but still.
But then in the color fest thing that they're doing, they wrote like Steve's.
with an apostrophe, right?
They wrote like Steve's apostrophe S, so it's like Steve's.
Yes, that's what it is. I saw it and I was like, I thought there was a
Gonna be
new
a
band, and I was
A
like,
band
wait,
full of
what?
Steves.
Yeah.
Steve's.
But,
Wouldn't
you know-
it just be Steve's with an apostrophe after the S?
Yeah, it would be.
Or Steve's.
Isn't that grammar?
I don't fucking know.
Steve's with a. If you wanted to do Steve's,
But this is another good.
Steve I.
This is a great topic of conversation because I have been heavily brainstorming like a brand new artist persona to go with all the new music that I've been currently concocting. Because
Oh.
all the stuff that's on my Spotify, and I even have a couple songs that I was planning on releasing, but I don't. I might just release them on the Steve Spotify just for shits and giggles, not expecting them to do well.
Yeah.
All this new music that I've been writing is like a totally different sound because it's
Really?
it's me.
Can you like?
It's-
Authentic.
Is
you.
it like?
It-
Is it more like indie rock? Is
It's
it more
much
like
more. It's much more indie rock.
surfery?
Honestly, some of it is
folksy?
even Midwest emo.
Really?
Some of it is
Ooh.
really emo.
Really?
And some of it is I'm so excited for it. But so with this new music, I don't know if I want to start like my own band and sort of leave the front, like I'll be writing the music, or in my head I'll be writing the music and
Yeah.
I'll be singing it. But do I want to start a band? Because I have a few people that I've been playing with and talking to that I think if I asked them and if we did things intentionally, we could be like a real band. Or do I want to create a new solo artist persona and still have a band behind me, but the emphasis is more on me as an artist? I have a lot of decisions that I want to make.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited because I keep surprising myself with the music that I write. Like every song, and I feel like it should be like this, but like every song that I write, I keep impressing myself, and I'm going, wow, wait, that's a really good song. I can't believe I wrote that. And
It's amazing.
I realize that no one cares about my music as much as I do, and that's how it should always be. And I realize that I'm literally writing the soundtrack to my life.
It's a great way to put it.
That is a beautiful.
It's a beautiful way to
Right?
put it.
Because there's no one who can relate to your music more than yourself.
Exactly.
I'll write the rhythm. I'll have an idea for how I want the drums, the lead, the bass to sound, like the arrangement of the song, and then I'll bring it to them and say, hey, like, could I hear it? Could I hear you doing this? Could I hear you doing this? Or what do you think? Should I change anything on my part? And the boys are great with giving me tips like, oh, you should do this instead. Oh, you're right. This does sound a lot better. So as
yes, while I am writing the songs and it's my ideas, there is a lot of collaboration that goes into it.
Yeah.
And it's always about it shouldn't be about like does your idea win, but the best idea should win.
Yes.
Totally.
We should always go with the best idea, and
Yes.
and sometimes that's not your idea, but that's okay because the collaborative process is you need to look at all aspects of it.
Yeah,
Totally.
totally. Yeah.
And that's why I'm so fortunate to have people who are way better than me musically. But while they are much better than me musically, how I separate myself is by being a songwriter. And like,
Totally.
there's very few people who are actual songwriters.
It's
like,
a very hard thing to be good at.
and
Very
It's
hard.
true.
You're a poet. Like it's
Exactly.
like you are.
and I've just
You
been
can communicate
I've been doing
so
it.
well. Yeah.
I've been doing it so long that it's almost just like second nature. And when people are like, "Oh, I could never do that,"
People
I could
can't
never
do it. They
that.
can't articulate their words, their thoughts. They can't make it sound good. Like it's a very hard thing to be good at, and it's a very amazing skill to have too. It's
And
crazy.
I'm very lucky to be able to do that and to be received well. And it's one of the best feelings that I ever felt is when I wrote this song called "Impatient" that I'm gonna be playing at the Colorfest Battle of the Bands.
Hey.
And I played it for Ryder, and he was like, "Dude, can I have that song?"
No.
And I was like, okay, well, if he wants this song, then no, you can't have this song because if he wants it, then
a
like
little reverse. To
you
the
know that is
moment.
if Ryder wants the song, you know it's a good song.
Damn.
And I was like, wow, like
You're like I made it.
I fucking made it.
I made it.
Mom, I fucking did it.
Mom, Ryder wants my song. It's a good one.
But
Oh my
that was
God.
just like the biggest compliment that I could have ever received.
Wow.
And I gotta give it to Ryder. I think other than me, he cares about my music the most. I do consider myself like his apprentice.
Your guys'
because-
duo is kind of a match. You're really funny. Even just on the TikTok account, it's hilarious. It's
I owe a lot of my happiness to that man, just because he's my bestie. And
Aw.
yeah, I'm sort of debating on where I want my artistry to go, because the music now that I'm writing just sounds a lot different. And I my goal is to make a new artist profile and to build like a real following and to release like a professionally produced EP within the next year or 2
Yeah.
years. Because having the Steve Spotify when I got to or like creating it when I got to college and seeing how it's done or how it's been doing over the last like year and a half has been really eye-opening and really informative about like how to make it as an artist. Like I've definitely
Totally.
not made it as an artist. I've made
It's hard.
I've made, local ripples.
30, I feel like has like a decent amount of streams.
30U has like almost 5,000 streams. The song
I'm
this
easily like 1,000
gonna
of
say,
those
it's
like
probably Olivia
accidentally.
and I.
Like literally like it's been on repeat for so long. It's so funny.
Sam Enough is my favorite song that
Yeah.
I've released because it's just so pretty, and that one's like super lo-fi. I would love to keep making like lo-fi. A lot of
Yeah.
my ukulele songs that I've written, like that was a ukulele song that I wrote.
Really?
And over the summer, me and my friend, shout out JP, shout out Versacos. He's at UCLA. He's fucking crack producer.
Oh my God.
Great kid, great songwriter. I was like, yo, like, I would love to. We grew up together, and he, we like connected over winter break last year, and recorded a few things, and then this last summer, I was like, I played him a couple of ukulele songs. He was like, ooh, like I have a great idea for that one that you played, and it just turned into this like fucking. I mean, I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's
Hey.
my best song that I've released.
That's
So
sick.
exciting.
And it came from a shitty ukulele voice memo, right?
That's how it's how it starts.
And so
it's your roots too.
exactly, and so that made me realize that wow, these 30 songs that I have like ready to go, arranged and everything, they could all be fucking bangers if
Yeah.
produced correctly. But producing them correctly is no easy
so
feat.
hard, yeah.
And that song alone took like 3 months to make.
Wow.
And
You also don't want to rush it either.
Exactly.
It's a
Like,
work in
especially
progress.
since you're someone who you felt like you were rushed into your first Spotify thing.
exactly.
You should
Exactly.
really, like, you have the foundation of it, and then just enjoy the process of making it sound like absolutely perfect until you can release it and be like, I'm
You
done.
are
Yeah.
completely
I'm
right.
done. Let it just do whatever happens, because this is my best I could have done. And if no one can see that, then it's going to be fine. But if they do, that's all you can do about it.
You are completely right, and
Yeah.
I'm so glad you bring this up. Because I think something for me that I've learned that has been super important is being intentional with, I guess, your brand as an artist.
Yeah.
Because one of my roles that I was responsible for as a social media manager with Blue Tree Records was tailoring artists' visual brand to their music. And if you look at every single artist, every popular artist right now, they have a very distinct visual aesthetic that typically matches whatever their current release is.
Yeah.
Let's look at The Weeknd. Remember when he was doing After Hours?
Yeah.
And he was all in that red suit with the bandages on his head, and contrast that with his Beauty Behind the Madness crazy spider hair, right?
Yeah.
Like, and even My Dear Melancholy, like, I love looking at The Weeknd because his style is, it with every release it changes. I mean, even Taylor Swift, like if you
Yeah,
look
the
at
eras,
if
yeah.
you look at her website, every single release, and it might be like a year or two between releases, her visual aesthetic changes.
Totally.
And I don't know what my visual aesthetic is. I'm not super
And that's
confident.
okay.
You're still finding
no,
it.
I
You're
know, I know.
finding it, yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
So with this new thing that I want to create, like, I need to be super intentional with it and have a plan. I don't want
Yeah.
to just jump into it. I need to have, if I'm doing a new name, I need to figure out my new name. I need to figure out
Yeah.
if I'm going to be a solo thing with a band behind me or if I'm going to be a band. I need to figure out how I'm going to present myself visually on Spotify, on Instagram. I need to figure out the type of content that I need to be making.
Yeah.
Because I cannot expect to grow as an artist if I'm not posting on Reels, on TikTok, doing whatever I can.
Yeah, you gotta do it now. These days.
Which is something that I completely neglected the past however many months, because if I'm being honest, I'm lazy and I have avoidance fear, and I would rather not do something than potentially do something and fail.
And that's a big thing to overcome with someone who's like creating stuff.
Totally.
Absolutely.
We were there too. It's like we
Yeah.
just started doing all this stuff, and it's like we could have just sat on our ass and just not post anything. I'm like, okay, like we can just settle for 10 people listening to this, or it's like you just gotta like once you pull the trigger once, it gets so easy. Like once
Yeah.
we started, you just vomit one time, then everything else, it's like okay, just go.
It just
go.
comes.
It just
You're
comes.
like, oh, I have an idea.
and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, we're actually fucking hilarious. Like that's so funny.
I remember like our first episode, we were like so scared to put it out because we were like, what if people
I
don't like it?
no, it was
or all that stuff?
bad.
And I can imagine it's the same for like putting out a song, you know?
Oh,
I couldn't
completely.
even like I
Completely.
think when I first edited our first episode, I sat and listened to the whole episode like 4 times, which is like 4 hours because the whole thing was
Yeah.
an hour. Now, one run through of the edit and it's up. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
done. I don't care. Like I'm like, say I like forgot to put one thing in, like it's okay. Like I'm gonna
But
survive.
have there been, I mean, later in the recording process for you guys, have there been any episodes where you're like, oh, like this one's gonna fucking hit, they're gonna love it?
I loved our SZA episode.
Our SZA one was so good.
So good, but it
So-
like did not do well. Like
Yeah, it
I
did
was
not
like
do
that
well.
was my favorite episode. Anytime someone asks for something that we'd listen to, I recommend that one. And then the ones that I mean, we've just been plateauing because our first episode sucked, but it got the most streams, which I feel like is how it goes.
Yeah.
And then everything else has just been like a steady decline. But I think now that we're recording it, I think it's gotten better because we've gotten more comfortable. Because before it was kind of like we were freaking out, and we've just gotten closer through this too. I feel
Yeah,
like, which has
totally.
helped. Like we didn't really. We now our friend. We have like a strong friendship now, and we're like,
Yeah, the chemistry is.
yeah, it's
chemistry's
like
good.
flowing. But I think the scariest times is when we don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah.
Like our last episode, nothing happened. So we just started talking, and then those are ones that are the kind of scary ones because I'm
Yeah.
like that story I told. That is showing a lot of my personality with that story, and it's very scary to sit here and post that because I'm like, that's a certain side of me that I don't let a lot of people see.
Yeah.
And that's why I kept wanting to
Especially if it's gonna be
clarify
posted
if it's gonna be
too,
posted,
yeah.
and then I'm like reposting it on my Instagram, and I'm like, these people just see what I post on like my feed, like it's just a photo of me, like, but then like this is like my actual personality,
Yeah.
and it's scary because I'm just like, this is what it's like to hang out with me. Like I'm sorry, you either like it or you don't, and that's why I kept being like, I know you guys think I'm really mean right now. I promise I'm not. This is just how I am, and it's just
Yeah.
like it's just something. It's hard to navigate it,
Yeah,
especially with something like this. Like
I completely relate to that
Yeah.
because when me and JP were recording Sam Enough, and when we were like towards the end of it, and it was coming, everything was coming together, and it was sounding really good. We were like, man, like these people are not gonna be ready for this shit because when this song comes out, they're gonna be blown away by it. And I mean, Elijah's when I showed Elijah like the first like rough demo of it before it was mastered, he was like, bro, this might be like my song of the year.
You know, I think he played it for me. I think he had a file of it, and I think I heard something. I heard something of you that's unreleased, and I was like, oh my god, it was really good.
And
I'm excited.
and when Elijah was like, dude, like this might be like the song of the year, I was like, bro, like coming from Elijah, it's like that meant like so much.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's the same for you. When me and JP were talking about like, oh, like they're not gonna be ready for this. Like they is like our old friends from high school
Yeah.
who still like that's the majority of my following on Instagram is, or I mean, yeah, probably the majority is like, you know, the people that you grew up with.
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to react to this seemingly new version of like, you know, I was making shitty rap music in high school that no one fucking took seriously.
Yeah.
And now I'm making now I'm writing and making beautiful music. It must be so different. Like I wonder how they
Like, how are they gonna take? It's not like them taking it seriously, but it's like
Their vision on you is changing.
yeah
it's changing. Yeah.
and I was thinking like, well, does it even fucking matter what these people think?
Yeah.
We're not in high school anymore. We're
Yeah.
fucking adults. We're growing out of this shit. It's like,
Yeah.
why do I want them to listen to it and be like, damn, I wish we fucking believed in that kid. Not to say
Yeah.
that people didn't believe in me, but
But
like,
still, like, you didn't give him so much shit.
and
Like,
honestly, they didn't give me
you
that
wish that they
shit.
saw your
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can only ever see your own potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if you guys have similar feelings when releasing something like the podcast.
The thing is with us with the podcast is we're just convinced like we will blow up and something will happen from this. We are. Like it's like I think we have so much potential with it. It's just so hard to work through it right now,
Yeah.
getting so little streams. And like it's nice getting validation from like I'll use Elijah as an example. Like he was like, dude, the podcast is so good. You just gotta like wait it out. Like you
Yeah.
gotta get through this hump. And I'm like, okay, for you to say that, that's amazing. And it's like, and then like even I know my dad listens to it. Okay, but like my dad straight up with me, and he listens to a lot of podcasts. He's like this. He's like, if I can sit through and listen to it, it's good. Because normally I would just turn it off. And I'm like, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like I don't know shit about what you're saying, but I'm listening because you're entertaining. And I'm like, okay, we have like the belief that we can make it. It's just a matter of like how long we can go with until we make it. And
Yeah.
like we're like that's why we do like one of our TikToks got like 20K views, and I'm like,
Fuck yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, we were like, oh my,
oh
god,
like,
it's happening.
it's happening. But then it's like, does our last episode have 10 streams? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So would you say that if your podcast is going to blow up, it would be from like a clip that you guys
I hope so.
Yeah, I feel like that.
I hope so. I
would.
think so. Because it's also hard with us with TikTok because I didn't know this, but like you have to have a certain amount of followers to link something in your bio in TikTok. So we can't link our episodes in our bio because you have to be a business count with like 1,000 followers. We have like 40 followers on TikTok. So it's like navigating, then that's why in the caption I'm always like, oh, go to the Instagram. And we'll get a few follows from the Instagram, I think, from the TikTok, but it's still like, then you got to go in the link tree and then you got to find it. And it's like, are people actually going to sit there and listen to the podcast? Because like I'll watch podcast clips on TikTok, but that's not to say that I go and listen to the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Podcasting is kind of hard because either people either listen to podcasts or they don't. It's one of those things where like I either know someone who's like, I listen to this, or I've never listened to a podcast in my life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tricky to find that certain audience. But I have a few friends who listen to it and like who love it, and I'm like, okay, great. But it's just a matter of like if other people like it.
And I'm curious too about what's even gonna happen with TikTok.
Yeah.
Because like, isn't that shit supposed to get banned like
it's supposed to
this summer?
So long. And it's like but it is the way to fame. That's how you do it. Like it's like, and you guys are like the blank space guys are the kings of TikTok. Like you guys vomit that shit like no one else. And like it works for people. Like that's how people are like, this is like day whatever of trying to get my song to blow up on TikTok, and then that one video has 1 million streams. Like Food for the Soul, perfect example.
Yep.
That kid, It's Murph, was playing it for his class. Now he's performed it at Coachella.
Yep.
It literally only blew up on TikTok.
Yeah, but that song deserves it.
It
that
does,
song is
exactly,
fucking great.
exactly. And I'm like, but that's
great.
like the power of like TikTok and social media is like that. Like he couldn't have done that. Maybe he could have done it through an Instagram reel, but like it's just like it's the way it's today. It's like it's how to do it these days. Like I don't know, it's hard, but we believe, right?
We think our time will come.
Our time's gonna come.
Yes.
It'll happen. I believe in us, and like we have the motivation for it right now. It's just a matter of how long it goes, but and navigating our schedules and everything. But
Do you guys know the difference between an abundance mindset and a scarcity mindset?
I call it a growth and fixed mindset.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
But I'm sure it's the same thing.
You
described
honestly, it could
be.
Well, in terms of like success.
Mm-hmm.
So, like when you have an abundance mindset in terms of success, it means that you think that there is enough success for everybody. Just because somebody is succeeding does not mean that they're taking away from my possibilities to succeed. It means that you sort of want everybody to win. Yeah. You want everybody to be up. Whereas if you have like the scarcity mindset, it's like, oh, somebody's success means that my success is hindered or it's getting taken away from me. And I think that it can be really, what's it called? Demotivating? Unmotivating?
Yeah.
I feel like seeing other people's videos or content blow up.
Yeah.
While you're trying to do it yourself, I feel like that can be very unmotivating.
Yeah.
To people who are trying to do it themselves.
Yeah.
But I think that, having that abundance mindset and that, hey, this guy made a video that blew up, I think I can do the same thing.
That's how you think. And like I see that and I'm like, okay, if he can do it, who's to say I can't do it? Like you look at the people who love it and I'm just like, okay, like their personality is great, but I'm like, I feel like we're funny and amazing. Like it can happen to us. And that's why you should have to keep like trying. And it's like, it's hard out here. And it's another thing where like we're all also college students. Like it's like we have so much shit going on all the time that it's like we're trying to pass our classes, we're trying to do our stuff, and it's like we're in Greek life, like whatever. We have a lot to balance, and it's like it's hard right now, but like I think just knowing yourself and having security in who you are as a person when creating content is like the best thing you can do, because you can't let your success levels like affect the way you think about yourself, like no matter what it is, because it's like, because even if you agree. And it's like valuable to have friends in your life who are able to be upfront and tell you this stuff. And like I would think that my friends would be like, dude, that episode sucked.
Yeah,
like when
so
I'm like, you're right, it did suck, but like, are we still gonna post it? Yeah, like because we got to be consistent. And it's like there's just so many levels that go into content creating, and like, but as long as I feel like you have the similar mindset, and like you like as long as you are proud of what you're producing And the biggest thing is that we have genuinely so much fun doing this.
Yeah.
Like, this is so
Good.
fun.
Good.
Like, I just love sitting my ass on this couch and just talking. And I love editing. And I love doing all the social media
Yeah.
stuff. And like, oh my God, what song are you listening to today? Like, it's so fun. Like, it's just like, it makes I'm so happy doing it. That's
makes it,
why
like,
this,
all worth
it
it.
makes it all worth
Yeah.
it. That's why the streams can't matter, but then they will come if we just keep doing it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
As long as I'm happy and it's getting out there and I'm proud of it, then like, that's all you can ask for, really.
Mhm.
Because I won't release it if there's like there was one week we missed and we could have had the option to go in and come in. And I was like, no, we're just not going to release something because
Yeah.
it's not going to be our best foot forward. And like, yeah, so that's how we've been navigating it. But I'm proud of us. We're doing well,
I'm proud of you guys too.
and I'm
I
excited
think
for
it's
you.
really fucking cool what you guys are doing.
Thanks.
I really do. What would you say you guys are doing? I mean, you've probably described it before in other podcasts, but like,
We described it. What was it? You tagged it as like a podcast for music
For
lovers
music
by
lovers.
music lovers.
Yeah.
That's kind of like our little. That's been our tagline we put everywhere, and I think it's a mix of the more we sit here, it's like it's a music podcast, but like it is very personable. We didn't want to make it too much about us, like me being
Yeah.
like, let me tell you about my weekend, like, and it wasn't music related, but. It's part of it because the way people are going to want to keep listening is because they got to know their hosts and
Yeah,
they got to know
totally.
their people. So like that's why it's fun when we do an interview like this because at this point our audience kind of knows us and they're going to be like, oh my God, I wonder what they're going to talk about with Steve. Like, it's going to be so funny. And then everyone that loves you is going to come in and I'm like, oh my God, it's our 3 favorite people on that couch. That's so fun. But we're trying to navigate it in a way like I think our goal would be like end game to just get like taken up by someone and like get sent out to like concerts and stuff and like interview people and like talk to them about like we want to bring our tiny mic to backseat lovers. We're gonna be like,
that would be great.
are
Yeah.
you so excited? Like, what song are you excited to see? Like, is this your first show? Is this your 5th show? Like, and then all this stuff and like and then get sent to like fucking Coachella and like cover Coachella and like do stuff like that. That would be fun. That's like way like
Yeah.
we're still in the basement.
Hey,
of
but
Lambton
you
Hall,
gotta
but
have those.
You have to
You
have
gotta
a
have-
vision.
you have your
You have to
vision.
have a vision.
you gotta have it.
And to add on to that, like, I would have never fucking imagined that I'd be. Not even that I'm. The shit that I'm doing is super cool, but just in terms of performing.
Oh
I
yeah.
would have never imagined that I would be, opening for Buppy in a front seat show.
We love Buppy here.
Love Buffy.
We love
Yeah, I
Buffy.
mean, like,
Love Buffy.
and now he's opening for Arden Jones.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Crazy.
I opened for the dude who's now opening for Arden Jones.
You're networking. You're just getting there.
And I would have never believed that shit. Because performing was just never even
yeah.
a thing in my mind.
Yeah.
I wasn't writing my music so that I could sing it in front of people.
Mhm.
I felt like no one would even take me seriously. Like, what was I going to do? Do like a backing track and just be up there singing my shit?
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so fortunate that I was surrounded by the right people who literally put a guitar in my hand
Mhm.
and I did what I had to do and now they're playing behind me and man, we practiced today the set that I'm doing in the Battle of the Bands and it sounds so
Oh my
good
God.
and I'm so excited to do it.
When is the Battle of the Bands?
It's this Sunday.
We should
at
go.
I was
Free.
gonna say we should go.
Dude,
We should
free
go.
Chipotle, free tote bags.
No
Oh,
way.
It's
We're
it's
mobbing.
on Campanile Walkway, like right in front of Hebner Hall.
Okay, we should
Bro,
go.
what? We should go.
We
We'll
should
go.
It'll be a vibe,
Yeah.
and
We'll
it's like
cover it.
super artsy
We'll go.
people there. Like,
Done.
dude, yeah, you guys should totally like walk around.
We could interview
fucking
people and
interview
stuff.
people.
We could bring Tiny
Bro,
Mike. I
that's-
literally have like the
dude.
most petite microphone.
Oh my
We
god,
can do
we
it.
could even do like a follow up.
Bro,
Yo!
yeah. Because
Okay, yeah.
our
Yeah, yeah,
episode
yeah.
releases
Well,
Sunday at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my
Okay,
God, that's perfect.
That's literally perfect.
And then we'll do a throw it on TikTok. And there we go.
Genius.
We'll interview you and then we'll be like on the end of it, just be like, new episode out now. Listen to Steve's.
Genius.
Yeah. Wow. Look at us go.
Wow.
Great.
You guys are so smart.
We're just
You're
so
so
good.
smart.
We're so good.
the best out here.
So good.
Wow. I feel like I know you so well now. I like love this.
that was like a beautiful story.
You're just
Thank
such
you
a
for
good
sharing.
storyteller.
Thank you so
You are.
much.
You have.
I
You're
was
such
like
a
sitting
word.
in awe. I
No,
was
I'm
like,
sitting here
wow.
and I'm like, oh
Wow.
my god, wow. You're a wordsmith.
You guys.
I just want to know. Give me your like favorite 5 artists you're listening to right now. Because we want to make you a little playlist. We're gonna make our viewers
Okay.
a Steve playlist.
Yeah.
I fuck with that so hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you
That-
can send us this.
That I'm listening to right now.
Yeah.
Right now or like all time?
Should we do right now or all? We can do all time.
Yeah, all time.
Let's do all time.
All time might be a little basic.
That's totally
It's
fine.
okay.
Number one Steve influence has to be Frank Ocean.
Valid.
That's my fucking guy.
Valid.
We could talk about what happened at Coachella.
We did our
but
whole episode on it last
Yeah.
week. We talked about it for
Yeah.
so long.
Breakdown.
God.
Fuck that.
Okay,
But
Yeah.
Still love him.
I'll still stand behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
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 I'll stand in front of him.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Stand
Bent over in front
Bent
of him.
over in front of him.
I gotta say, probably, honestly, no particular order.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Childish Gambino.
Valid.
I wrote a whole essay about him the other week.
He's
Whole
fucking
thing.
goated.
Amazing.
And I touched him at Outside Lands 2019. Try that, Frank Ocean.
Wow.
No one's touching that, homie. I touched fucking Childish Gambino.
That is a flex.
It is. It's a humongous flex.
Wow.
And I went home and touched myself
Good.
with that hand.
With the same hand. That's
Yes.
wild.
Has never been washed since.
I went like this. I held it out just so
what
no one.
part of him did you touch?
It was his back.
Oh, good.
Because it's a whole story, but like I somehow ended up by myself at the Childish Gambino.
I can't believe you performed at Outside Lands.
Yeah, he closed, and then like there was like a middle walkway that separated the two crowds, and he like would walk up and down it, and I like got
Oh.
on the very end, like so I was like throwing my hand over. I'm like, Childish Gambino!
He's like, who the fuck is this white man?
And he's like sweaty, and he's like walking
Oh
through like,
my god.
and he's like doing his weird like dances.
His little,
Yeah.
like,
And
African
I
dances.
like he like ran through it. I like reached out and slapped him, and I was like,
my god.
so Frank
So
Ocean,
good.
Childish Gambino. I have to say The Weeknd too,
Yeah.
because I listened to him so much in middle school, and I have to give him dude, Starboy. I was obsessed with Starboy.
Oh my
good.
god. I
Such
wanted
a
to go
great
to his
album.
tour with Kate
Such a
Trana
good
opening for
album.
him. Like, are you kidding me?
Kate Trana was opening for The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Crazy.
Nuts.
That would be a nuts concert.
Dude.
Honestly, currently I have to say Blank Space.
Really?
I absolutely have to. I mean, I fucking live with them. It's
I know
like,
you have to.
and
You're Still Mine has been one of my favorite songs recently.
dude,
It's
it's,
so good. They're
It
really
is
good.
so that
it's
song.
only a matter of time.
It's gonna. I
It's only a
literally
matter of time.
texted because I have a TV in my room that plays my music, and You're Still Mine came on. And it's that photo of them in the van, and it's just huge in my room. It's like that smirking photo of Elijah, and I just send it to him, and I'm like, "This song's fucking fire."
Yeah.
Like that's all I said, and I'm like, "But then like I need you to get off my TV right
Yeah,
now
dude,
because it's
the
so
background,
creepy."
the background
Yes,
shows
I'm like,
up.
and they're just in the van, and it's like the Grace Tom seductive photo shoot, and I'm just like, "Oh my god!" But it was so funny. Love that song though.
I just feel like it's too basic, but Daniel Caesar, dude, I fucking love
The new
Daniel
album is-
Caesar.
Valentina
The new album
is
is
the new
so
album's so good.
good.
Valentina is so
So
good. We were just talking about it. And Always.
I love Always.
Always is so good.
So yeah, I would say probably my 5.
I'm grasping your music type right now that you
My
like to listen to.
It's very R&B inspired.
Very, yeah. I love
and
that
I
man.
love a lot of hip hop artists, but I say the people who had the most profound effect on my artistic development
Mm-hmm.
are Frank Ocean, Childish Gambino, Daniel Caesar, The Weeknd, and Blank Space.
So that is, I think that is you in a nutshell. Is that is all
I
that.
agree.
I would agree
I
with that.
completely agree.
Because you gotta throw Blank Space in there. They like bred you,
They really
nursed
did.
you
they,
into the
they really
artist
did
you are.
fucking nurse me.
and you know that
And
you have had such an impact on them too. You gotta know
Totally.
that. You know
I
that.
hope so. I mean,
It's
I
like you
I
scratch
like to
your back, I
challenge
scratch
them.
yours.
Yeah, 100%. And like, you guys both, it's such a mutual, like,
It's a beautiful
benefit.
friendship.
it's such a good friendship. And
It's-
it'll be a forever friendship too.
It's like that new Daniel Caesar song, "Homosexual."
yeah,
Oh my
homosexual.
God,
That's
yes.
exactly you guys.
this was great. So successful. First interview.
Thank you so much for
It w-
having
I
me
was just
on.
in awe, though, like the
I
whole
literally was
time.
just sitting here, I'm like, you
literally the
were-
whole
yeah.
time. I was like, wow.
Literally.
Like I could just
Come
go on and on about
on.
Steve.
Come
on and
On and on and on and on.
I love it. Well, thanks guys.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for coming in. Are you kidding me?
Thank
you
you for-
rallied.
no, thank
the
you
first
for
rally.
inviting me.
Round of
This is a
applause for
milestone
Steve.
episode.
This is a huge milestone. Hopefully, I think you're gonna bring us in if you like, hey, I'd love to be on the podcast now. Like, you were our first like zinger. You were brave to step up. We didn't know how to
Yeah.
do this. This was so raw. I love it though. Loved every second of it.
Loved every second.
I'm excited to see how you guys cut it up. And edit it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's my job for the next 2 days. I'm excited. I just sit there. I was telling Vanessa that my favorite thing to do is I'll go out and I go out and I come home like hammered at like 2 a.m. and I sit and I edit the podcast and I post it on my private. It's just
you posted like
I'm
4 hours
it's
ago. Like,
literally-
why are you
no,
editing
literally,
while you're fucking?
it was
like,
literally like 3 a.m. and I'm
gone?
like sitting, I'm like orbiting in my bed and I just am like, and I take a photo. I'm like, I love editing the podcast when I'm drunk. And like the slide before is me just like at like a frat party, just like doing God knows what. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm like sitting there laughing at myself. I'm like, who knows what I put in it?
And then
Like,
you
it's-
post like, we're so fucking funny.
I know. And then I literally I'm like, God, it's so fun being hilarious. Like, and I'm just like hammered.
Hey.
It's so funny,
You have to love what you're doing.
right?
You have to love what
100%.
you're
Yeah, I
doing.
did love it.
And
So funny.
I'm so glad that you guys have found a new grind. And
About damn time.
It's refreshing too that it's
Yeah.
about music and you guys really care about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're not doing anything, if you're not working towards anything, like what are you doing?
What are you
So
doing?
like I really respect it and I appreciate your guys' work. And I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Of
Aww.
course. Lastly, do you have a message for people out there that want to get into music?
Hey, do you have anything?
Do what you feel like is right. The only thing you can do is follow your gut, follow your intuition. Every decision that I've made that has gotten me onto this couch, I have made because it's felt like the most right thing to do. So, and a lot of that was just like blind faith. It was like, oh, like I feel like I should do this. If you feel like you should do something, do it. If you don't feel like you should do something, don't do it. This doesn't apply to like actual responsibilities. This applies to more like dreams, more like hobbies or social things.
Yeah.
If you follow your gut, do what you can only ever do what you feel like is most right.
The way I view it is
Beautiful.
like, why not try? Because then
Like,
you're
why
spending your whole
not?
life just questioning, like,
Yeah.
oh, what if?
I never want to regret, no regrets. Like, I never want to sit here and be like, God, guys, I had this great idea to start a podcast, but like,
Never act
fuck,
on it.
no.
Yeah.
But like, fuck it, we ball. Like, just do it. We're young. This is the time. This is the best era of our lives. If you're our age listening to this, like, make mistakes, take risks, figure out what you like. Because who knows? We could have started this and been like, fuck, we hate doing this. I don't want to
Yeah.
be, I don't want to have a podcast. Great. Now I know.
But now it feels
Now
right
it
to do
feels
it,
so
right?
normal and natural. And I'm like, I would have never known this if you
Yeah.
didn't take the chance, if I didn't join the radio, do this, whatever. Like, it's all part of life.
Figure
Be
yourself
ambitious. Figure it. Fitfo.
Bitfo, baby.
Fitfo, bitch.
Gotta get a haircut, bro.
I know. That's not that bad. It's like a little subtle mullet.
A summel.
Subtle. I get to be getting back into up. Well, that sounds like a bee. I can't wait to. I love the
know.
ASMR in here. I wonder how the mic's gonna even sound.
Steve out.
out. Mic drop.
Well, we love you guys.
Thank you for tuning in.
And
once again, our lovely friend Steve.
Steve.
Bye, everybody.
We're making a Spotify playlist before,
Yes, we're gonna
We
make a
say
Spotify
goodbye.
playlist.
and we're putting all like Steve's songs in it, and then songs that we think are like very similar,
Mhm.
and we'll put songs that he think like takes like the greatest inspiration from.
Yeah.
And you beautiful listeners can listen to it.
Yep.
Let us know your
Fuck yeah.
thoughts.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
That's it.
goodbye, kisses.
Bye.
Bye.